Now, Old Forbes has an interesting article. What is this? Forbes, huh? Google's censorship of cryptocurrencies goes way beyond YouTube by Roger Hong. After YouTube recently started taking down cryptocurrency videos, the cryptocurrency community is left wondering. Get this little ad out of my face because it's bothering me. After YouTube recently started taking down cryptocurrency videos, the cryptocurrency community is left to wonder about Google and its views on cryptocurrencies once more. Though YouTube ultimately ended up saying that its ban of blockchain and cryptocurrency related videos, including simple tutorials introducing Bitcoin, kind of like mine, how to create a Bitcoin wallet and go to Coinbase. Oh, that's real bad. They said it was an error. We erred. And that all videos would be reinstated. It follows a pattern of hostility towards cryptocurrencies from Google that cannot be ignored. Start with, for example, Google's previous ban on cryptocurrency advertising. Remember that? At the time, Facebook had just banned cryptocurrency advertising as well, meaning the two largest advertising solutions had decided not to offer their monopolistic share of the market to a growing industry, effectively excluding cryptocurrencies from most paid advertising solutions. This ban extended to AdWords, which is Google's ad thing, solutions on YouTube, keyword searches on Google, and more. Though it was eventually overturned, it showed that Google was watching the space closely and was willing to take quick, harsh decisions based on what they were seeing. Google then suspended popular Ethereum mobile wallet MetaMask from the Google Play Store, that was also recently, citing deceptive services and referring to a financial services policy that, among other things, bans the ability to mine cryptocurrency on mobile for Play Store apps and doesn't allow apps, quote, that expose users to deceptive or harmful financial products and services, end quote. Which means what? Cryptocurrencies are deceptive or harmful financial products and services. That's essentially what they're saying in their mind. The MetaMask team appealed the suspension and were turned down almost immediately. MetaMask not only serves as a useful digital wallet, it also helps unlock a bunch of decentralized Web3 applications by default, commonly known as DApps or dApps, letting users benefit from the decentralized web with little effort on their part. You need a digital wallet to access dApps, such as the ones listed here, which he links to. The MetaMask team later said the following, quote, I very much hope that this was an honest mistake on the part of Google reviewers, but in combination with all the crypto YouTube bans, it definitely puts me at dis-ease about how Google is engaging with decentralized technologies. If people accept this behavior from a mobile monopoly like Google, we may not deserve something better. End quote. Cryptocurrency users can think of many reasons why Google might censor them and the applications they are building. Foremost among them is the fact that many cryptocurrency and decentralized apps go directly against the central business model of Google, which is capturing digital attention through providing the underlying infrastructure for much of the web. This is true from Brave browser. That was while using Chromium is an alternative browser to Chrome, Google's Chrome, to distributed video applications such as DTube that are steadily gathering content. You don't have to go to YouTube to browse. Google has invested heavily in the web as it is built today, served in a centralized fashion from hosted servers to clients around the world, and regulated content when it comes to copyright and other statutes, asking it to change from the lifeblood towards a more decentralized view of the web through new cryptocurrencies, decentralized applications, and protocols like IPFS that flip host client to a set of flattened peer-to-peer relationships, is a bit like asking an oil company to start investing in renewables. This is also pressure from regulators, or not this, but there's also pressure from regulators and legislators that Google has to deal with. Its American home base may have legislators on the fence, though congressional disapproval of Facebook's Libra probably did not escape Google's notice. Less ambiguous is China's direct and stark directives on cryptocurrencies for its citizens. And Google has proven through Project Dragonfly, a censored version of the Google search engine that was aborted, that it is not above working with the Chinese state to compromise in its principles if it means profitability. Lastly, there are probably people within the company who are split on the matter, and some may lean towards pro or anti-crypto views. With many absorbed in the Silicon Valley ethos, they would have had contact with cryptos. From Google CEO Sundar Pichai's son running an Ethereum miner, to co-founder Sergey Brin admitting Google wasn't on the cutting edge of blockchain and saying that he and his son, in turn, also mine Ethereum. Yet, despite the public views of senior executives, it's entirely possible that Google employees placed in tactical roles and day-to-day choices on cryptocurrencies might think differently. It's clear that Google is acting in a manner that is semi-hostile at best to cryptocurrencies, with censorship of key applications, introductory content and advertising options for an emerging technology that might attack its business model, and sometimes comfortable relationships with the legislators. What can be done? For most developers, the answer will be the standard one: build something better. Yet there should be more than that, starting with highlighting why data governance and decentralization matter in the first place, and defining what better means to the mass of the internet users who don't really care enough to find out for themselves. Google's security policies are top-notch, and the company has done well to portray itself as a relatively even-keeled and trustworthy guardian of a trove of user data. Well, I'm not so sure about that, but however, it is vulnerable in certain places. Like, so far it seems like our data is good, but what are they doing with our data? They're compiling and storing our data to use for themselves. So safe, but it's safe from hackers. Well, no, actually the hackers might be better than you guys storing my data. Tell you the truth. Though it currently hosts 92% of search volume on the internet, technology often shifts rapidly, such as when Chrome took over an exponential amount of volume over Internet Explorer, which we refer to in the IT world as Internet Exploder, because it is junk. However, Chrome took over an exponential amount of volume over Internet Explorer, where in about a decade it went from 0% usage to nearly 70%, while Internet Explorer, or Exploder, made the reverse slide. It could be easy to see how Google might not be as worried about nearest competitor Bing, which is Microsoft's, run through a centralized model from Microsoft they are used to competing with, as they might be worried about the much smaller but more menacing threat of privacy-focused DuckDuckGo search engine. Google is used to competing with Microsoft, another centralized corporation. By making sure that search quality and infrastructure are up to par, an incumbent advantage Google can maintain almost indefinitely. But with DuckDuckGo, user demand is intently focused on something Google can't totally provide and dominate: trust. Trust that Google or any centralized organization will always do right with the data that they've been given. Trust that now or later bits or bytes might not betray one's most intimate details to criminal or state-sanctioned oppressors. Trust that Google will never have an incentive to broadcast its own content or to censor the content of others for profit. As it is with DuckDuckGo, so it can be with distributed video, document creation, and syndication, and the array of products Google provides. In many ways, the current version of the internet is a great compromise between users and their eyeballs and the useful services Google provides for that attention. Users accept that their data will end up being used or sold elsewhere for products that save them time and make their lives easier. It is DuckDuckGo and dApps, which question the very nature of that relationship, that represent an existential threat to this model. Another thread comes up when it comes to the large size that is, of tech giants such as Google. Politicians have spent lots of time trying to confront new internet realities with old legal frameworks. The truth is that for most end users and consumers of Google products, the traditional antitrust monopoly contrast doesn't quite work because we're talking about monetizing attention rather than paying for products up front. So the consumer welfare standard and the exigence of low prices has problems when faced with a model of a giant company looking to provide products for free or near free monetarily. Many of the costs that might come with concentration of internet attention and sometimes misplaced trust are hard to price, especially in a context where there is no financial price at all for the end users. Yet cryptocurrency builders are facing traditional monopoly problems on the other side of the Google marketplace. Google and Facebook captured 63% of online ad spending in 2017 per a Wharton study that do conform more closely to traditional antitrust principles, facing elevated pricing on ads and pricing discrimination or even exclusion of service because there quite simply aren't very many providers, if any, that can provide the services Google can with advertising beyond Facebook. If the two coordinate to discriminate against a certain product category, that product category already faces headwinds to succeed. This may not be as politically fraught territory as lowering prices for the average American, but it can be a duopolistic and now anti-cryptocurrency element worth exploring. A thread that intertwines this all is the amount of political scrutiny faced by Google. Legislators that are pushing hard on Google for dominating data and the internet may be more amenable to alternative solutions, overcoming some initial skepticism about the cryptocurrency and Web 3.0 movement. Cryptocurrency and decentralized web advocates should also be wary of how Google responds to a growing trend of data and internet nationalization. Either the company will seek to accommodate the stringent demands of different governments in order to get access to balkanized parts of the internet, or they will seek to ignore those spaces entirely. Given the profit motive, a combination of the two leaning towards the former for unmissable markets is likely to be the case, meaning that a whole host of centralized nation-state entities, China, Russia, and more, some with less checks and balances and pluralism than the United States government, may enter the discussion to the potential detriment of the cryptocurrency community. One thing is clear through all of this. The censorship of cryptocurrency by Google isn't a one-off event and doesn't seem very much like an accident. It's a Cold War at best between the two very different visions of the internet. Google has chosen to contest that new decentralized peer-to-peer vision rather than adapt to it for now, leaving the potential for future conflict and censorship to remain quite high. Again, this was Forbes. I'll put the link in the description box. So now that I've read you all that, which was quite long, Google, again, it is a monopolistic company. It does not want any competition. And this is not simply, oh, they just want to be the profit king and all that. This is not just about profit. We've seen what Google is capable of. We've seen that guy, Zachary Voorhees, who had to become a whistleblower about what Google was doing. The shadow banning that Google does. Oh, you guys are talking about politics? You guys, you're not allowed to talk about politics. All your videos and all your new subscribers are going to get smashed. They're getting smashed down because we only want CNN showing up, Washington Post, and other fake news outlets that are superior, authoritative sources. You jabronis in your kitchen, your bedroom, your man cave, you guys aren't news sources. You guys, no, you can't. Now that's what they tell us. Yet, many of us who don't even have a college degree will run circles around these so-called news anchors because all they do is stand there with that little earpiece in and read you complete trash basically on a teleprompter. They don't know anything they're talking about. It's always talking points they got in their ear they're reading. They couldn't probably hold a conversation if you caught them in the street somewhere. Hey, remember last week you said something about Donald Trump? Yeah, right. Have you ever seen anyone confront Brian Stelter, like out anywhere really, and like they had a conversation where Brian didn't run away? How about Anderson Cooper? How about Don Lemonhead? No? Rachel Maddow, perhaps? No? Where are these people hiding? They hide and then they come out and do the news and they go back to hiding. You can't even have a conversation with them. Why? Because they'll probably get called out and not even know what to say. Oh, I just read scripts all day. I read scripts all day. Well, what's the problem? I want to be with scripters. I want to be with scripters. Oh, come on, guys. Google can't look at all this work we've done. And again, it's not just about profits. It's about a whole lot more. Complete control over speech, over politics, etc. Because if you can put stuff in people's faces, you might be able to swing millions of votes. And that's what we've been told Google was actually doing in 2016 and in 2018 especially with the midterms. So you can see why Google says, oh, well, this peer-to-peer stuff, decentralized stuff, oh boy, blockchain. Guys, this is going to be our undoing. They could say, you know what, let's go down that path. But it's not going to work in a centralized environment that they need. See, crypto is decentralized. They want to keep things centralized. It's their YouTube platform. It's their Google search engine. 92% of the Google traffic is Google. I don't know what the percentage is. It's probably at least 90%, I bet. Also, on as far as video sharing platforms, which one's the top dog? I guarantee, I mean, we know it's YouTube. But how much of the market do they have? 90%, 95%, 92%? I don't know. But you know it's darn high. Probably like their search engine. We don't want to lose that to decentralized platforms. We can't allow them to advertise on our... So you can see this. So it's a fight. But again, we're in a period of change on this planet. And if you don't go with the change, you're going to be left behind. And I heard there was a book, which I know there is, Life After Google. Life After Google book. Talked about this a few times, although I don't have the book. Amazon has it for sale. 4 stars out of nearly 300 ratings. And I'm going to read you a little description here about it, just because. A Financial Times Book of the Month. From the Wall Street Journal, nothing Mr. Gilder says or writes is ever delivered at anything less than the fullest philosophical decibel. Mr. Gilder sounds like a tech guru than a poet, more like less like a tech guru than a poet, and his words tumble out in a romantic cascade. Google's algorithms assume the world's future is nothing more than the next moment in a random process. George Gilder shows how deep this assumption goes, what motivates people to make it, and why it's wrong. The future depends on human action. Peter Thiel, founder of PayPal and Palantir Technologies and author of 0 to 1, Notes on Startups or How to Build the Future. The age of Google, built on big data and machine intelligence, has been an awesome era, but it's coming to an end. In Life After Google, George Gilder, the peerless visionary of technology and culture, explains why Silicon Valley is suffering a nervous breakdown and what to expect as the post-Google age dawns. Google's astonishing ability to search and sort attracts the entire world to its search engine and countless other goodies, videos, maps, email, calendars, and everything it offers is free, or so it seems. Instead of paying directly, users submit to advertising. The system of aggregate and advertise works for a while if you control an empire of data centers. But a market without prices strangles entrepreneurship and turns the internet into a wasteland of ads. And it actually is. You think about it. I go to Zero Hedge, for example, and I'm pounded in the face with ads. I love Zero Hedge. I go to Twitter and I'm scrolling down, I got ads. Donate to the DNC. No thanks. I don't like this ad. Don't show me again. I go to YouTube, just like you guys. You watch my videos, I get ads that play. But at least we get some of that money as video content producers. Of course, Google gets their cut too. But same thing. It's just ads everywhere. The whole internet's just an ad fest. Anyways, the crisis is not just economic. Even as advances in artificial intelligence, AI, induce delusions of omnipotence and transcendence, Silicon Valley has pretty much given up on security. The internet firewall supposedly protecting all those passwords and personal information have proved hopelessly permeable. The crisis cannot be solved with the current computer and network architecture. The future lies with the cryptocosm. That's his words, not mine. The new architecture of the blockchain and its derivatives, not derivatives market, derivatives meaning other things attached to the blockchain. Enabling cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ether, Neo, and Hashgraph, it will provide the internet a secure global payments system, ending the aggregate and advertise age of Google. Silicon Valley, long dominated by a few giants, faces a great unbundling, which will disperse computer power in commerce and transform the economy and the internet. Life after Google is almost here. So this book, which I've heard about for a while, I'm trying to see if there's actually a date of when this thing was, technically published. Hardcover, well, at least and I'm not sure if this one was published or came to Amazon, but it says July 17th, 2018. So about a year and a half ago. And perhaps that's when the book was created, not necessarily when it was on Amazon, but I don't know. Yeah, it does say down there, publisher, Gateway Editions, July 17, 2018. So it was, in fact, created then. It's got 4 stars out of 5. 296 review ratings. Hardcover, $20.79. Kindle version, $9.99, according to Amazon. So, I feel kind of good, be honest with you, that I've talked about cryptocurrencies all those last couple, 2-3 years. Well, 3 years now. You're about to be going to the 4th, right? We're going to 2020. But 2017, 18, 19, 20, I guess that would be 3 years technically, since I really got heavy on it. I mean, I know I was talking about it middle of 2013, 14, 15, but I didn't talk about that much. It was really around maybe halfway through 2016 when I really started talking about it. Webbot stuff's coming out talking about it, and I'm like, hey guys, we're gearing up for this. And then all of a sudden 2017 rolls around, whoa, Webbot was on fire. So whatever. I'm glad I got something to do with this because this is the future. And every time you hear this kind of stuff, even when you don't hear it, you need to keep telling yourself. There are a bunch of cryptocurrencies out there right now that have been out there. And they're fixed numbers of assets. They'll never create any more of them. They can't. There's only, 84 or 86 million, I think it's 84 million Litecoin, 20 million, 21 million, whatever is Bitcoin. That's it. That's it. You got to have some of those, some level, some number. Even if it's a fraction of a Bitcoin, okay. But you should be able to have whole numbers of Litecoin being $40-something right now. Again, whether you want to trade or not, you don't have to. HODL, hold. Market dumps bad, you got some extra cash, go for it. Grab a few more. Because at some point, you're not going to be able to mine them. Again, mining stops when they run out. That's it, done. Then what? Then it's just us in the market. And other people who want it, well, we got it. You can go on that exchange right now and buy it if you'd like, but $800 for Litecoin, that's not enough for me. That's not enough for me. That's enough for Evelyn. My wife would be like, you better sell that stuff right now and pay this house off. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. On second thought, 800 is a good. I'll go ahead and sell mine. Anyways, take care.